The intellectual challenge of the job is substantial. Firstly, there's the task of becoming familiar with new areas of law and having to conduct cases on subjects you may never have met in the past. Secondly, there's the task of writing reserved judgments, which is a bit like essay crises writ large. You have to put a lot of effort into producing something really quite coherent and well thought through. And third, and I think probably the biggest challenge, is extempore judgments. You can't do this job unless you're able to give extempore judgments in large numbers of cases. And it's a real art and a real skill that takes a little while to master.
One of the really attractive aspects of this job is the variety of work that High Court judges do. In a typical term, I might sit in the Queen's Bench Division on ordinary civil cases. I will spend time in the administrative court doing a wide variety of judicial review cases, anything from planning to education to immigration. I will also sit in UTAC, which is the Upper Tribunal Immigration Asylum Chamber. There is a great deal of work there, and it's quite complex work. I will also get the opportunity to sit in the Court of Appeal Criminal Division. So that's just a selection of the different areas in which we sit. When I started, of course, some of these areas were relatively unfamiliar. But I want to reassure people who are thinking of applying for this job, there is a great deal of support from specialists in these various areas amongst your fellow judges. Just as people who want to discuss criminal matters will come and talk to me because of my specialism, anyone who's doing a public inquiry for the first time will have people they can speak to. Anyone who's doing a personal injury case or sitting in the administrative court for the first time will find somebody along the corridor who's perfectly happy to have a conversation about the issues in that area of law. And that's very reassuring.
So judging is hard. You sit in court and someone tells you something very persuasive and you listen to it and I find myself nodding along thinking, yeah, okay, yeah, I buy that. And then they sit down and someone else stands up and they tell you something very persuasive and you sit there thinking, okay, yeah, no, I get that. And then they leave and you have to make a decision. And it's challenging. It can be very challenging, but it's rewarding. The challenge is an intellectual one, but it isn't. As I said, I think a minute ago, I don't find it so stressful as private practice, but it is difficult. Very often you really do have to you always have to make a decision, and that's the way our system works. And it's not at all easy to see what the right answer is, but you do your best, and I find that's quite a reward actually of the job.
The job satisfaction is immense. It's a privilege to be making decisions with widespread implications often, all of which really make a difference to people's lives. And you're doing that by exercising the skills and experience built up over a working life. None of it's wasted. There are opportunities also to exercise management skills which you may have acquired over the years, if that's something that interests you.
As well as what might be called the day job, you get the opportunity as a High Court judge to do lots of other interesting work. One thing that I did for 4 years was that I was a presiding judge on the South Eastern Circuit, and that's a lot of hard work, but very interesting. Essentially, you're providing a leadership role for the judiciary in your particular part of the country. Another thing which I've done is serve on a number of committees. For example, the Judges Council has a committee which looks at questions of human resources, and I've been a member of that committee, nominated by the Lord Chief Justice for a number of years.
For those interested in wider roles outside, as it were, the day job, I was amazed by the very large number of leadership opportunities. There are opportunities, for example, at the Judicial College, education and training for judges, lecture series, and most obviously perhaps presiding on the circuits. That's a very demanding role, 4-year role, 2 years essentially as junior and 2 years as senior presider. So there is a great deal of opportunity for a High Court judge to sit on committees working with members of HMCTS or Ministry of Justice and other judges which is great fun if that's what you want to do. I think also, in fact, most people are asked in one way or another to do something by way of leadership or committee role.